Hey, it's Marthea Pitts, the MSW coach, and I am going live. Let me make certain that my tech is teching, because I know, yep, I'm here. So I've learned that YouTube shoots me in faster than I realized. Hey, I see you in the YouTube chat. Drop in the chat your location in the world. Where are you logging in from? Your city, state, and country. And we're going to jump into this. I'm going to try to keep this under 15 to 20 minutes, the time that it takes you for a lunch break. Why am I going live in the morning? Why, Marthea? You know that we are at work. Because one of the strategies, one of the main strategies that I teach my coaching clients, and it's something that I started doing in my case management days, is my first hour of my work day was always dedicated to professional development, right? Something to prepare me and make me better, not just for my current job, but for my future jobs. And so I'm coming on as early as I humanly can to talk about some topics because I really want you all to start getting in the habit of taking a proactive approach to your career. So I want to talk today about, well, first I want to ask the question. I have my notes, so we're going to be on time. We're going to be in and out. The question that I want to ask you is, what do you want to be known for in your career? What do you want to be known for in your career? Drop it in the YouTube chat. Let me see. Like when I say what do you want to be known for? Like, is there a certain type of area of focus that you want to be known for? Is there a certain population or issue that you want to be known for as a person who's moved the needle closer to progress for this issue or for this community of people? Do you want to be known for being a person who was a problem solver? Do you want to be known for a person who did excellent work and put excellent research out in the world? Do you want to be known for, right? Because the impetus of the heart of the 3 Ps framework that I teach my coaching clients that I created. I didn't read it in a book. No one showed it to me. So if you see it floating around on the internet, that's my creation. I created that in my pivot to macro work. The center of the development of the framework was focused around the fact that I wanted to be clear around what is the career legacy I wanted to create for myself, right? Like, what did I want to be known for when I leave an organization? What do I want to be known for when I move on to another job or when I retirement, right? We're not going as deep as like your life legacy, but your career legacy. What did I want to, and the ultimate like question is like, what is the why behind my work? And in order to like carry the why out, I wanted to be clear on how people would know that I accomplished my why. Right. And so with that, the question is, what do you want to be known for in your career? And even more than that, what are you doing currently to make yourself known for the thing? So one of my micro to macro career accelerator coaching clients recently shared with me. She was like, I listened to the podcast, the video that you shared around marketing yourself, the difference between bragging and marketing yourself. And she was like, I did what you told us to do in the video. And I asked my sister, did she know what I did? And she was like, I told my sister what I did in a very plain language way. And she said her sister's first response was, oh, wow, I had no idea you did that. Because I told you all in that video, and if you haven't watched it after we end this live, go back and watch it. I told you all in the video that people don't know what you do, right? More specifically, how you know that people don't know what you do is ask your family members if they know what you do. Most likely they don't. They just know that you work down at such and such social service agency. They just know that you graduated from XYZ college. They may even know that you are a social worker, but they don't know what you do. They don't understand what that is. They may even know that you work with children, but that's it, right? They don't know like how expansive your experience is. And the reason I said test it out with your family and friends is because if your family and friends don't know what you do, and those are the closest people to you, those are the people you talk to every day, if not very, frequently, then people in your professional ecosystem do not know what you do. Right. And so why I share this is because what I see out in the world is that a lot of people are struggling to get jobs because no one knows what you do. They don't know you for they don't know you for a specific thing. You have not been intentional in establishing yourself as the go-to person for X. And this doesn't just apply to social workers. This applies to everybody in the job market, right? It's very common to see those social media posts about, I applied to thousands of jobs and did not get one interview or one job offer. Largely, what the people don't tell you is a lot of other things that go on behind the scenes that people don't share with you. But one of the major things that I figured out early in my career, and I now teach my coaching clients, is the key to not being victim to that is very early on intentionally establishing yourself as an expert around something, right? Around something. And when I say being an expert, I'm not saying that it requires you to be out in the world talking to the masses and being like the face of a thing. You have to be very intentional, right? This is why my coaching clients go on to get multiple macro jobs. One of my coaching clients, Monet, she was recently promoted. She's only been in the philanthropic space. Her first macro job after working with me, as a result of working with me, was as a philanthropic officer, coming from a very social service, case management, direct practice job, never having done technically philanthropy work other than like when I helped her identify her transferable skills. She has strategically built a brand around being a philanthropic officer, being a person in that ecosystem. The people in her network know her for this work. So much so that she was recently promoted internally with her organization to now be the head over her fund, which is a couple of $1 million in the state of California. Those things, right? And she did that in less than 2 years. That is not by happenstance, right? And how we know this to be true, many of you stay in jobs for years and don't ever get promoted, right? The reason Monet was able to fast track her career, which is why I have the micro to macro career accelerator, is because I strategically taught her, one, how to establish a brand around being a person in the philanthropic space, even though she was technically a new face. One of the things Monet did immediately was secure a fellowship. Why? Because I said, Monet, on your career plan, I need you to get on somebody's fellowship. That way you can start getting out in your ecosystem, letting the people know that you are here and what you are good at and what you're passionate about. And so now, less than a year later, she has been promoted. That's also true with another one of my coaching clients, Cynthia. Cynthia started out in she was in a macro organization where she was doing policy. However, she was struggling with finding ways to get into where she really wanted to be in her career. So one of the things that I taught Cynthia was around, I want you to establish yourself as the person who is passionate about X, right? Her thing. I'm not going to talk too deep about it. She did that so well that she was chosen as a representative for her organization to go on and represent her agency in Geneva, Switzerland at the United Nations. That wasn't by happenstance. It was because she strategically took the steps to establish herself as an expert around environmental justice, right? And so I share that because a lot of people are missing this critical thing, right? And it starts in your case management job. It doesn't start once you get your first macro job. It starts right where you are. And the objective is for people to think of you immediately when they think about the thing, right? So if you want to be known for streamlining continuity of care in hospitals. When people are talking about continuity of care issues in hospital healthcare systems, you should be at the tip of their tongue. They should be inserting your name throughout the conversation as a person that we really should talk to, that we really should engage more in this conversation because they know a lot about X. And the way you become that person, right, is by doing a few different things. And so today I want to share with you 3 things that you need to be doing right now in your case management job to establish a professional brand for yourself so you can then get jobs without even trying. Like my people get jobs, multiple macro jobs. Like Sharika is a past coaching client of mine. She's on like her 4th macro job. She's been working with me for the last like 7, 8 years. And it's because she has established a professional brand in the public health space because she has a master's of public health degree. She had never been able to use her degree prior to working with me. She was working in human resources because she could never get a public health job. And so now she has had 4, count them, 4 public health macro jobs as a result of working with me and as a result of really marketing and establishing a brand so strong that people now know her in her industry as the go-to person around health and nutrition for families, SNAP administration policy and oversight. That was not by happenstance. It wasn't just because, it's because we did some intentional work to establish a brand for her. So when she submits her resume and employers look at it, it's a no-brainer that they want her on the team because all of her body of work, every job she has ever had, emphasizes and shows like, wow, every job that she's had in the last 7 to 8 years is around public health and on the national level and program administration and policy oversight and development and training, right? So she is an expert in the things. So I want to share with you 3 things that you should start doing today to establish your professional brand. The first thing is you got to identify the thing that you want to be known for. So go back to the question that I asked earlier. What do you want to be known for in your career? What do you want to be known for? And I want to give you the disclaimer that the thing that you want to be known for does not have to be tied to your current job. Because the truth is, a lot of people are in jobs that they did not choose. It was not the first on your list. It was the job that you had to take. And deep inside, and a lot of you all are verbal, you don't hide it. You don't like your job, right? You don't enjoy the scope of work that you do. You don't just enjoy the day-to-day work. You dream of doing work on a national level, on a regional level for other populations and issues. So I say that to say that you first need to answer the question, what do you want to be known for in your career? And understand that it does not have to be tied to anything that you've done in the past, right? Because you don't have enough career information. This is what I teach my people. This is what I coach my people through, and I teach them my process. Because you don't have enough information, your automatic default is, oh, because I'm a medical social worker, I got to go do something regarding medical social work. Or because I'm a child welfare case manager, I got to go get a child welfare macro job. And you don't, right? A lot of you have had aspirations prior to going to get your degree to work with different populations and issues. What I teach my people is let's revisit that. You still can do that. Even though you have never worked with them formally, you still can do that. Right? Everyone that I work with have all changed career lanes. Right. So, but let me go back to the steps. So the first thing you need to be doing right now in your case management job is identifying the thing that you want to be known for. What do you want to be known for? What do you want the people to mention? What do you want the people to mention your name and associate it with? Like when they're talking about X, you want them to say, oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. She is the person. Let's bring her in. All right. So the first thing is you need to start thinking about what do you want your thing to be? What is the thing you want to be known for? What is the career legacy that you want to establish for yourself? The second thing that you need to start doing once you identify the career legacy that you want to establish for yourself Everything you do should be centered around getting really good at that. Right. The reality of being a case manager is that well, when I was in case management, those days are behind me. But when I was in case management, the reality of being a case manager is that you are required to be the jack of all trades. You are required to do everything under the sun. However, when you are moving into macro spaces, you are hired to be an expert on one thing or one aspect of a thing. A lot of you pick things that are huge, right? That are complete systems. However, you're only hired to be the expert on one aspect of the system. So once you identify your career legacy, the thing that you want to be known for in your career, you should be in step 2 while still in your case management job, actively creating opportunities to practice, hone, perfect that thing. So an example is if you're passionate about affordable housing and you're really interested in streamlining the use of affordable housing funding in cities, you need to be doing work around the budget management of affordable housing organizations. That may be a little too, extensive for this conversation. Let me go back out. So maybe you're passionate about affordable housing, right? And so when you focus in on what aspect of the issue of affordable housing, maybe you have a lot of concern around like how affordable housing is, the eligibility is determined for people who are applying. So what that looks like, the aspect that you're interested in regarding affordable housing is the application process, the eligibility determination process when it comes to affordable housing programs. So what that means is that you need to be creating opportunities for yourself to be in rooms where people are talking about affordable housing eligibility and application processing and guideline determinations. If that is in your current job, I'm gonna give you two aspects. So if that's in your current job, that means that you need to be a part of the special teams that are determining the qualifications and the criteria for the housing program that you have. So that looks like if you work in a local shelter, right? You may be just a shelter advocate, a shelter case manager. You need to be going to wherever they're having a meeting about reviewing to see, okay, who's going to be coming in, who are we going to accept this year to get off-site housing, because your shelter provides off-site transitional housing. You need to be a part of that conversation to learn, like, how are they determining eligibility? How do they make their decisions? What does the documentation process look like, right? So you can start learning even though you are not technically in that job, because those review teams always are looking for volunteers. I used to lead a review. I used to be over a transitional housing program, and I would have to go out and find people in my nonprofit to be on the interview panel when I would have to review applications to determine who would get the offsite scattered housing. So it's a thing. I'm not making up nothing. This is real, right? So when you are clear on what is it that you want to be known for, you have to go out and create opportunities for yourself to get that experience, one, but two, also start establishing your person as someone who is interested in around affordable housing eligibility. You asking the transitional housing person in your nonprofit about, hey, can I be on the next transitional housing review team with you? That immediately sets you apart from any of the other shelter advocates, because they're not asking about it, right? They're not asking about it. They're sitting in the area supporting the people. However, you're asking about eligibility. Let's say you don't currently work in a shelter, right? You don't work in anything that's housing connected. Again, you need to go out and find opportunities to build this experience. So what that may look like is you need to look up in your county, in your region, in your state. I don't know where you live. look up wherever you are to find, okay, who is in charge of the Affordable Housing Advisory Board in my county? What do I need to do to get appointed as a volunteer to serve as a community advocate, to start sitting in on conversations around the decisions that my city leaders, my county leaders are making around the eligibility for affordable housing in my area? Because they have roles available for people who want to come in as a concerned citizen, or someone who has worked with the people that they're trying to reach with their efforts. So you being a social worker, that makes you qualified. How do I know this? This is what I did in my career as a case manager. I was appointed by my local county commission to be the vice chair of my Affordable Housing Commission. Why? Because at that time I was working with the nonprofit where I was a transitional housing program coordinator. And I was concerned about the fact, because I live in a city where there is no affordable housing. It's a college town. All of the housing is catered to students. So what I was seeing was, when my participants were transitioning out of my program, yes, they get transitional housing through our program, but it's only a limited time. They can only be there up to 2 years. So we were struggling. I was struggling to connect them with long-term permanent housing. So because I was concerned about the thing, and I'm interested in macro work, and I'm establishing my brand around helping people achieve lifelong self-sufficiency, that's my career legacy. That's what I want people to know me for. I went and I applied. They appointed me. I was voted in unanimously by the county commission. And every month I will go to meetings, and I'm learning about, oh, wow, okay, so this is a real process, right? They're not just throwing up affordable housing buildings. I had builders that construct, what is it called? Contractors, home builders that were on the commission with me. I learned about how the urban center works, and how the affordable housing units are allocated, and the kickbacks, not necessarily kickbacks, but like the benefits, the credits that are given to buyers to attract them to our city, to encourage them to build affordable housing units in our area. I learned about all of that. I learned about the policy on the state level, right? I'm building my brand. I had never worked in housing a day in my life other than that job that I had. However, me being a part of that commission established me as a person who is concerned about the well-being of working people, right? Lifelong self-sufficiency. That's my thing. So I gave you 2 examples of how you should start centering everything around the thing that you want to do or be known for, to get really, really good at it. You can do it in your current job, or you can do it outside of your job. And going back to the example of Monet, the strategy that I taught her was, we're going to do it outside of your job, but it's still connected to your job. Go get a fellowship. She didn't go get a fellowship in the hopes of getting a job. She already had a macro job. This is a strategy. These are the things that I teach my coaching clients based on their situations, based on their goals, based on their capacity, based on where they live, right? The key to getting jobs on autopilot, like my last macro, I had several macro jobs where I never even applied. The people came and looked for me. You want to be making intentional moves now to get to the point where you are headhunted, where the people come find you. That's the same thing happened to Monet. She's had several opportunities where people came and found her. She's like, Marthea, I didn't even apply for this. I say, yeah, it's because the professional brand that you are establishing for yourself is working. That's what you want to do. And this is how you shift from having to be at a computer all day when you're 40, when you're 45, and you're 50, and you're looking for jobs. You want to get to a point where the people come and seek you out, where you're sitting in your office or online working your job, and then you open your email and they're like, we want to give you an offer for $400,000 a year. And you're like, I didn't even apply for this. But you have to start doing these things now in your case management job. Okay, so the third thing that you should be doing right now is Once you've identified your thing, your career legacy, I keep calling it the thing. What is your thing? But it's technically, I call it your career legacy. What is the thing that you want to be known for? Once you started creating opportunities to get really, really good at that, the third thing is you need to start telling everyone what you are doing. But I said earlier, your own family does not know what you do. I hate to break it to you. They don't know what you do. They have no clue. They probably know that you're a social worker. They barely know that. And it's because you don't tell anyone. So if your family doesn't know, do you really expect an employer to know? So the third thing is that you have to start telling people. You have to start talking as if it's already happened. You have to start telling the people, I do blah, blah, blah. I enjoy supporting XYZ. I have done XYZ. Right? So I say this to say this. I had another coaching client, Kendall. She's on my YouTube page and she has a whole video. We did a whole hour-long video talking about her journey of getting a macro social work job in 30 days as a result of working with me because of the strategy I created for her. It was the result of the fact that one of the things that I gave Kendall to do was go where your people are. What do I mean by that? A lot of you hang out with just social workers. That, oh my gosh, I can't stand to see it. I log on to LinkedIn, but I know people don't know what they don't know. If your aspiration is to be in the public health space, you need to go where the public health people at. If your aspiration is to be in DC, you need to go where the DC people at. You already know everything there is to know about social work. You learned it, you know it like the back of your hand, you talk it, you breathe it, you think it at night. You have to go where the people are that you want to be a part of. All right. So the strategy that I gave Kendall and her and what helped her get the job, a macro job offer in 30 days after years of working in a medical social work job that she hated so much so that she quit weeks before working with me, was I want you to go find where the people are that you want to, who you want to work with. And when you find them, I want you to tell them what you have done in your past. So I helped Kendall over that in that 30-day process of identifying what experience she had that is valuable to an employer. I helped her take it and package it up in a pretty package. And I say, when you go to the people, you are going to say this. And I gave Kendall an exact script. She memorized it. She got there, she said it to the thing. The people were like, oh, wow, I would love to talk with you more after. Let's schedule a meeting. The meeting turns into 2 interviews the week later, right? And she got the job. She now works on a national level, creating safe spaces for LGBTQIA plus youth and young adults on a policy level because that's what she wanted to do. I helped her identify what is the career legacy, what is the thing that you want to be known for. We weren't just applying for wild jobs. We weren't just going to every mixer and event. We weren't doing informational interviews. And I hate to say this because I don't know where it was birthed, and I swear I'm not like taking a shot at nobody, but whoever is telling y'all to do informational interviews, stop. Stop. I have met dozens and dozens of social workers who have been doing informational interviews for years and it ain't got you nowhere. My people don't do fruitless activity. So I'm just saying that to save you time. I want you to shift from informational interviews and collecting all of this information and doing nothing with it to action. So that's why I always come on here and give you action steps. Nothing did I say in here did I say do an informational interview. I said, identify your career legacy. Start getting really, really good at it. That means you're actually doing work to put on your resume, right? The third thing I'm telling you to do is tell the people what you do. Go tell them. Go find where they are and tell them what you do. Even if you've only done it one time, go tell them what you do. And so Kendall got a macro social work job in less than 30 days. She had 2 macro interviews in less than 30 days and a macro job in less than 30 days. So I want to say again, like it all starts with you getting clarity around what is the career legacy you want to establish for yourself. And at the root of all of this, I didn't come in with the term because I don't like to use jargon. This is all a part of professional branding. Establishing yourself as the go-to person, gathering your receipts to put on your resume, while also at the same time telling people what you do to build awareness. It's called professional branding. And so as a case manager, I was very intentional about that. And I now teach it to my coaching clients. And this is how they get jobs on autopilot after their first macro job. I have another coaching client. He was recently flown out by Harvard for an interview after being a recent graduate in the height of the pandemic with his MSW degree and only having worked on an employee assistance line, never having formally worked in higher ed. However, he had dreams of working in higher ed. He had done years and years and years of volunteering in undergrad and graduate school. However, it never manifested and never actualized into a paid job. He came through my micro to macro career accelerator. I gave him a strategy. We established a brand for himself. I taught him how to uncover what experience he has that is valuable to higher education employers, what organizations to target, how to position himself on paper for his resume, how to talk about his work in an interview. He got his first 2 macro jobs years ago. However, he was recently recruited, headhunted by Harvard and some other more prestigious higher education universities and institutions. That's not by happenstance. You don't go from 1 year being on employee assistance lines where you're talking to people about, okay, did you follow up and do, and I'm going to give you a referral, to you are now being recruited by R1 universities to come in and design and lead programs. It's an intentional process, and you have to start that early on, right? When I work with my people, I'm taking all of the things that they've done and I'm packaging it and I'm moving it and I'm creating a plan for them. However, what would be ideal is if you start now doing it and making certain that everything that you're doing aligns up with that thing to create that legacy for you, and shift from just taking any job that float by. No, that's not what we do. So I share all that to say, one, I want you to really get proactive. This is one of the ways I'm teaching you the strategy. I came on here because the first thing that you should be doing in your work day is thinking about your money-making activities. In your career, if you have to work, is your money-making activity. So I'm coming on first thing in the morning because I want to come while you're fresh. And if you watch the replay, put replay in the YouTube comments and tell me what was one aha key takeaway that you got from this conversation, right? So I want to come on in the mornings as much as I can, because at the end of the day, you done gave all of your stuff away to everybody and you don't have a minute left for yourself. When I was a case manager, my first hour of the day was dedicated to how I'm going to get more money, what I need to do. Right? I serve my people with excellence, but also my first hour of the day, my first hour to myself was being very intentional around, okay, what am I going to do? Because I know I ain't going to be doing this forever. I'm not going to be coming in here at 8 in the morning forever, sitting in this cubicle, seeing 200 people a week. I'm not going to be doing that forever. I know that I want to have more impact in my work. I know I need to make more money. I need to be intentional about what I'm doing. I didn't treat my career like an afterthought. So that's why I'm coming on in the morning instead of in the evening when you are burnt past your limits. You have given everything you have to everyone else. You want to come when your brain is fresh. You want to come at the peak of your highest point of energy in the day and talk about, okay, what do I need to do strategically to get more money? So I also want to say that next Tuesday, I'm having a professional branding workshop. I'm not calling it that, but it's a workshop where I'm going to actually help you create a plan of action of what you need to be doing to establish your brand now where you are. It's a private workshop. I'm not going to advertise it too much. If you watch this video, you watch it. I already have people signed up. They have asked me about it behind the scenes. But it's a workshop where I'm going to help you create an action plan, a plan of, okay, what are the strategic things I need to be doing now? And this workshop is for you, is if you are like, I'm going to take a demotion to get more experience. This is for you if you are either if you have recently applied or going to apply to go back to school to get another degree to help you get the job that you want. This is for the people who may already be macro social workers. However, you are ready to move on to something bigger and better or move to something that's more aligned. You have to be intentional about your professional branding. This is the stuff that people don't like to talk about. People just want a job title on a resume when it's more things, right? Because once you get the first job, you need to move. We don't stay in our jobs. We are very intentional about our jobs, the people that I work with, right? We have strategy behind the jobs. We have a clearly laid out plan. And it's not to be the leader of the world, but it's to make certain that you are moving in an aligned way. Because like I always say, the things that you enjoy now, you're not going to enjoy 10 years from now. Right now, it's cool going from person to person's home, doing home visits. Yeah, you got flexibility, your schedule. You can come and go as you please. Yeah, that's cool now. It's cool seeing the participants all day. You get to laugh with them and have fun with them and be all out and about, and you're not being monitored by supervisors. But when you get older, and older could be 2 years from now, when you have a difference in your way of thinking, when you realize I'm not really helping these people, I'm just keeping them in the same place, you're going to want to change. And so what I arm my coaching clients with, especially in this workshop, is creating the foundation now to get your own job, get jobs on autopilot, go get the jobs that you want so you're not spending weeks, days, years looking for employment. You have to start establishing your brand now. So if you're interested in attending a professional branding workshop, I'm going to offer it. It's going to be next Tuesday evening. It's going to be a private workshop. DM me, not DM me, you can't DM me on YouTube. Email me. I didn't put it in the YouTube chat, but you can email me, and my email address is mp@marthiapitts.com. If you are on this live, that means you got my email. So just reply to any of the emails you've ever gotten from me. And I'm just going to open this up to people who are already on my email list, but you can, and I'm going to drop it in the YouTube chat. Email me the word branding, and I'll send you the information to register. And I'm going to help you create a plan of action. So like with me talking about, I went and identified opportunities within my organization for the affordable housing. I went out and got a commission position. All of those are very strategic steps. With Cynthia was able to go to the United Nations because I identified opportunities for her in her organization to start telling people what she was interested in. And in less than 2 weeks, they immediately thought of Cynthia when it came to find someone to go represent the agency at the United Nations in Geneva, Switzerland. However, they would have never thought of Cynthia because before working with me, she had never verbalized that. She didn't even know that she could do the thing. A lot of you love to travel. Why not get paid to travel? Right? But you got to start telling the people. So now Cynthia is an international macro social worker. And she has an interview on my YouTube channel as well. Go back and watch her interview. She talks about the strategy that I taught her. All of that is professional branding. This is a part of the larger conversations that I want to have with y'all, right? However, when people find me, they just want to know about resume writing and job searching. Is more than that. Like I want to talk to you all about building a brand so strong that the people come looking for you. All right, so I'm going to go. Email me at mp@marthiapitts.com if you want to attend the private workshop around professional branding, where I'll create you an action plan, something that you can do right now in your case management job that you should be doing. So you too can go on and get the jobs that you want. All right, I'm gonna go. Happy